Oh boy, divers, 𝗲𝗵𝗃 continues to push back hard against our diver forces, and it looks like J.O.E.L may have just dropped in a familiar foe to bolster the bugs, and things are about to get extra spicy. We've also got a triad of new mods to check out. The Ultimatum nerf discussion is again happening. The game's CEO is over on Twitter, and Sony is back in the news. If you want to support the channel, the easy and free way is to hit subscribe and ring the notifications bell so you never miss my future upload alerts. And here comes the latest from our favorite liberty-delivering, galaxy-smashing shooter, Helldivers. It may seem insignificant, but under the cover of darkness, the Terminids have reinforced their spore cloud exploding units with the much more deadly predator strain bugs. That's right. And true to form, the game has made no mention of it. No dispatches, no broadcasts, just silence. They're just going to wait for us to stumble into these cloaked stalker frontline units and suffer heavy casualties. And I'm okay with that. I love it when the game does it this way. You don't have broadcast and war telegraphing exactly what's about to happen. And when Helldivers is working like this, it's at its peak form. So, with under 2 days to go, we are finally making headway on 𝗲𝗵𝗃. We had previously maxed out the 1 billion bug kill counter, and at the time of this recording, you're also looking at divers only needing about 5 million more common samples to complete that one as well. The massive news here is that we are finally making liberation progress on FP, now sitting at nearly 11% and rising, and more on why in just a moment. For today's daily or personal order, you've got the thick fillet special, the stalwart, up and on deck, and once you kill 200 enemies with this thing, expect to pocket 15 medals. But again, the major development here, besides us picking up liberation percentage, is that those wicked fast and insanely nasty predator strain bugs have now been shifted onto 𝗲𝗵𝗃, and the next 2 days could get really damn spicy as we push for total victory. Looking elsewhere, and the Meridia wormhole has continued worming away from Angel's Venture, putting some distance between it and the rubble of that planet. And make sure to leave me a comment about what's going to happen and when in terms of the Illuminate. Now, obviously, we are locked into a bare-knuckle brawl right now versus the bugs, but waiting just off stage are the squid. And speaking of the squid, for those of you jonesing for a taste of ink, they currently have an invasion campaign running on 𝗵𝗏 with the Death Star overhead in low orbit. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, the DSS doesn't have any effects currently active, with only the heavy ordnance charging up, and it's going to be ready the soonest. The newer format 3-page Superstore has some decent selections for the next 20 odd hours or so, with page 1 offering the lightweight Legionnaire servo-assisted armor, along with the doesn't look like it, but it is, medium Drone Master armor featuring the engineering kit passive. Page 2 brings in the Enforcer hybrid medium armor with fortified, along with the CE-74 lightweight breaker set with engineering kit. And finally, page 3 has the fortified commando off-the-scale heavyweight armor, along with the FS-38 Eradicator lightweight armor with fortified as the passive. Still no Killzone armor, I know, but I'm always checking the resets, and if you want to stay up to date on all things Helldivers, make sure to hit subscribe and ring the notifications bell so you never miss a future upload alert. Of course, we've been slogging away on 𝗲𝗵𝗃 for days now, always never making a dent into that liberation progress bar. But like I said, that has all changed as of early this morning. Now, as of late last night when I logged off, which was about 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the decay rate had dropped to 5%, and according to the Helldivers companion app, it is now down to 4%, and this always happens as we continue to smash the defenses of the bugs or whatever faction we're taking on, and we deplete their forces. With the percentages now at 4, remember that they were as high as 10%, we can finally start to overwhelm the bugs and finish up this damn major order. But again, possibly in a last-ditch effort to stop the Helldiver advance, J.O.E.L has dropped the predator strain bugs onto the planet's surface under the cover of darkness, and You should all be too familiar with what they can do, especially if you were part of the diver assault back on Fenrir 3. I've seen a lot of positive comments about the featured mod section I started adding into my videos a few weeks ago. Hell, it might have been a few months ago. I've honestly lost track. But also, there were some comments mentioned in there to expand it out a bit, maybe to feature other things besides armor. Well, you asked, and here's the results. But first, we need to start off with the armor from the thumbnail, and that is the SC-37 Legionnaire Dark LUT Edit by Crusader555, and it takes what already looked like a good armor set, and just by using this Dark LUT edit, it really makes this set look almost the way it was intended to look, if you know what I'm saying. You guys know I'm a sucker for a monochromatic armor look, and this Legionnaire is a great lightweight set for all you strat ball yeeters out there. Of course, the blast shield helmet looks great in all black, and I paired it with the basic black foe smasher cape. For all you 𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗀𝗃 mains out there, how about a reskin for that weapon? Well, this R09 Vigilance rework takes the 𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗀𝗃 and turns it into a bullpup design minus the drum magazine. Stoob2 is responsible for this one, and unfortunately, I did not record footage using the weapon, but overall, you can't go wrong with black and yellow. And finally, this one is a real treat, and whatever you're doing right now, put it down and pay attention, because how many of you would love to see some better icons when it comes to your stratagems? I mean, I know I would. Well, I have no idea how much work went into this, but 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗃 has redesigned all the in-game icons for the offensive, support, and defensive stratagems, and just take a look at these things, some of them now brought to you in 3D. I don't know about you, but I often mix up like the spear, and I think it's the commando, and I also make some other mix-ups in there. But this redesign takes all that confusion and just throws it into the trash bin. They look so cool and so crisp and so distinct. In fact, if anyone at Arrowhead is watching this video, we need this installed into the game. Please and thank you. As always, credit to all three of these mod authors, and links to each can be found in the video description and are available over on Nexus Mods. Also, it's very early on, but I've got some preliminary things happening in terms of mods, and I hope to be able to report on that one more in the future. Moving on, and of course, we've got some major news happening outside of the game within the last 24 to 48 hours, including the QA lead talking the Ultimatum. The CEO has been responding over on Twitter, and Sony is back in the news, and for all the wrong reasons. Anyways, let's start off this one with the Ultimatum popping up in public discussions, and there seems to be this push and pull about the weapon being too powerful, etc., etc. Now, we've already seen one change to how it would be affected by the Hellpod optimization booster in Siege Ready, and for some, just having that single shot is still far too much. Now, first up is this post about the Ultimatum, and QA lead JoJo started it off like this. I think it was a 50-50 split exactly of the Ultimatum being totally OP or totally useless. And look at the emojis, people are laughing down below it. Honestly, I don't know if this is a totally legit statement by JoJo or if they were just trolling. Anyways, it definitely caught the attention of the Discord. This member tagged onto JoJo's 50-50 split comment and said it's still completely OP, and they got 5 this emojis down below it. And finally, QA lead JoJo responded back with a comment expressing their own opinions that went like this. This is my personal opinion. It has not come to dominate loadouts or trivialize the game entirely. I would agree with you, JoJo. It maybe is a bit too useful, but I think for now it's fine for it to be as it is until an elegant solution can be found. The solution is don't touch it anymore. There's plenty of other weapons that could be with some love first, I'd say, and I agree with that as well. But what I am interested in are your thoughts overall on the Ultimatum, especially now that it's been excluded from all other passives and boosters, limited now to just a single shot. Is it powerful? Hell effing yes it is, but that power has been scaled back considerably by the ammo consumption. At this point, going in and messing with the power deltas after it's already been through its initial ammo nerf would be setting the wrong tone, and the overall optics of, you know, Johan was here and everything got better when he was, but now he's on sabbatical and the nerf hammers come back out. That's not what needs to happen here. It has a single shot, and really, to be honest with you, I rarely see any of my squad mates using this thing. Personally, I find the grenade pistol far more useful, and it provides a lot more utility than the single shot delete button. Gambits and how they are not understood by the full player base or fully explained within the game was the topic of this tweet at the game's CEO when this Twitter member wrote, "Hello gents, absolutely in love with your game. I can't get enough of it. I have one major issue that I think really needs addressing for the sake of the game, and that is teaching the player base exactly what a gambit is. I'm sure you will all agree, and I know you have tried with in-game dispatches, but I think it can be shown and explained better to players." I agree with you there. Maybe a video on our ships. Interesting. A vid on socials from the devs. Probably not as effective. Lines from the NPCs in the ship. Definitely effective. Info on the map. Really agree with you there. And maybe all of the above. Agree with you there. It's increasingly frustrating, and I'm sure you share my frustration, but I think it needs to be doubled down on. And then they go on to thank Johan and anyone else they can tag in there. To which they did get a response from Arrowhead's CEO, 𝗵𝗂𝗄𝗃 𝗵𝗂𝗃𝗃, who wrote, "Thanks for sharing. I think it's a good topic for a dev stream or blog post. Passing on to the team." Again, drop me a comment about your thoughts this time on gambits. Do you think they are explained fully? Could they use even more reinforcement through the streams the poster mentioned? Do you yourself even know how they work? Again, leave me some feedback. One thing that was teased and mentioned quite a bit in the past were those live dev streams where devs would step up in front of the camera and explain different design choices and answer questions just like this one. Or, you know what? They could even put together a presentation explaining exactly how a gambit works and just how risky they can be, especially if you fail. And finally, Sony is back in the news for all the wrong reasons. This time reported on by Insider Gaming as the recipients of another class action lawsuit, this time coming from the Netherlands, alleging that Sony has kept prices artificially high and is abusing a position of power by preventing players from buying digital versions of PS4 and PS5 games elsewhere. Residents of the country that purchased the product from the PlayStation Store as far back as November 29th, 2013 can register, and they must be at least 8. That's not 18, that's 8 years old. Sony is also embroiled in a £5 billion lawsuit currently ongoing in the UK for the very same reasons, and that one seems to still be ongoing. But overall, it's never good news for a major corporation to see something like this happen. And a few things that really stuck out to me about this new Netherlands lawsuit included the time frame. You can go as far back as late 2013. That's over a decade. And then again, those age restrictions, just 8 years old. We could be talking millions of transactions made over that decade plus, and untold amounts of players could potentially get signed up for this legal battle. But overall, right now, there's not really that much to report on just yet, as I fully expect Sony to try to get this thing completely thrown out of court, or at least to try to stall it long enough while they're still taking on the UK with that similar suit. Now, competition is always healthy for an economy, and it breeds lower prices and better overall consumer products. But when a single entity controls everything, we've seen over time it doesn't function well, often leading to just outright abuse. All right, we've covered a whole host of Helldiver topics for today, and as always, leave me some feedback, and I will do my best to respond. But for right now, we've got some Predator strain bugs to kill over on 𝗏𝗟 Prime. Remember to hit subscribe and to ring that notifications bell so you never miss my future upload alerts. All my socials, including links to all of today's sources, can be found in the video description, and also check down there for an open invite link to my Helldiver Discord community. Until the next one, this is 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏